Yes, darling. But they don't want to run. Flat don't flat that. Oh, yes. They are flat don't flat that.
Italy speaker we because wala 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 Italy speaker we.
Developers.
There's absolutely no truth. Not even say, we sold the pots. What? I mean, the last government.
Developers.
There's absolutely no truth. Not even say, we sold the pots. I mean, what?
Developers.
There's absolutely no truth. Not even say, we sold the pots. I mean, what? I mean. The last government began to negotiate with GPS before we were there.
Good evening, everyone. Pleasant good night to you. Welcome to Caribbean American News Network. We are live on the air. We are broadcasting simultaneously via YouTube in HD quality. And we are also here on Facebook, bringing to you the news that you report. We have some breaking developments. It has reached our news desk that one man was shot and killed earlier today in Corinth, or Cicero, sorry. One man shot dead today there in St. Lucia, in Cicero, in St. Lucia. And so our condolences to the bereaved family. Earlier today, now let me just greet you folks. Greetings to all. Let's take the opportunity to share the platform. I was not able to share, so I am encouraging you to share the platform. Share it with everybody. Share it. Interesting night. I know many of you are tired. Many of you want a job. You had a tough day. Some of you were in Castries at the protest. Some of you were home relaxing yourself. But we want to welcome you to the platform tonight. Remember, this network is the news that you report. We have some breaking developments also concerning Miss Augustine, Cecilia Augustine, better known as Joy Augustine, who died in state custody there in St. Lucia. Remember, we reported that she is a U.S. citizen, and so there are a number of questions that are being asked out there. For myself, I received a number of communications today on the developing news there. I am holding back on that information until I can get a second party to confirm the information that comes to our news desk. So I don't want to just receive information and just put it out there. I want to be sure that I can verify with 2 or 3 sources on the platform. So again, we have some developments there with the death of Cecilia Augustine, a U.S. citizen who died in state custody there in St. Lucia. Remember, she was held 9 days in a local precinct at the local police station in Labrie. And we are still on the case there, monitoring that development there. But tonight, again, we have this major breaking news of another shooting on the island of St. Lucia. Please continue in prayer as we say to you, nothing beats prayer, all right? Good. Just remember that. But please share, invite everybody. Invite everybody. We're going to go over, before we get into reports from the event today in St. Lucia, let's see if we can just bear with our platform. It is overloaded from clips that we received today. So we're going to wait for you to share the news. And also we saw the Prime Minister of St. Lucia starting works on the hospital there in Soufrière, in Vieux-Fort, the St. Jude Hospital. They're cleaning up the grounds and they are getting ready to put the fence and to start getting the hospital ready to get the folks out of the old stadium. Again, remember that the new hospital, they're not using the new structure, but they're going to be moving the people out of the stadium into the hospital that was started after the fire destroyed that thing. All right, so the hospital is going to be the hospital started construction started today. And so let's watch this space and see what goes on there. Many are saying we want the new building, but the government is saying, look, we are in power, we're going to use the old structure. All right, so there is not much that we can say. The wheel is already rolling, and just watch this space, and let's hope that at least the people, the nurses and the doctors and the patients and their guests will be moved out of the stadium. It is a hazard, and they should not be staying there for another day. All right, we saw rain flooding that place. It was reported to me that someone lost their cousin over there. So I say to you, just pray about this. Let us not, allow politics to blind our eyes. I prefer the people out of the hospital, out of the stadium, into whether it's the old or the new hospital. Just get them out. We do not want to lose anybody in the stadium. It could be myself visiting, go there, something falls on me and I'm gone. Could be your family, it could be my family. So sometimes we got to put politics aside, and we got to focus on, what needs the immediate, what will require immediate attention. And I would say, whatever it takes, move the people out of the stadium. And that's my 2 cents on it. Some will agree, some will disagree, but it is part, my friends. Someone said that they're reconstructing a hazard. Yes, well, I don't have that information to say that as yet, but what I can say is that the best option would have been the new building. It would have been, of course, the best option. But remember that that elections has consequences. It has consequences, and this is one of it, where there's a government in power, and that government, feel that they can do, they can do what they feel is best, for the country or for whoever they're working for. All right, but elections have consequences, and that's why you do not sit back and complain, and you don't go out and exercise your franchise in voting or being part of the democracy. You don't stay home and hide and say, "Moi madi da sa." Elections has consequences, and that is the point. Okay? All right? Elections has consequence. Sylvester is asking, are you on the internet to say what building is best? Sylvester, I don't know what that question is. The last time I checked, I am not an engineer. The last time I checked, you have your opinion also. And I am sure your opinion is the old hospital. So my question to you is, are you an engineer? All right. So the question goes back to you, my friend. I'm not sure if that was for me or it was for somebody else, but please clarify so that I can respond to you accordingly. All right. But I am not an engineer, but there are certain things that requires common sense. There are certain things that requires common sense, and my friend, if you're given the choice of buying a building and two buildings are placed before you, and you've got to choose, I am sure you're not an engineer, but you will point on the one that you believe is best suited for you and your family. For instance, you're trying to buy a home for your family, and you are given two options: a 3-bedroom house or a 5-bedroom house, concrete or wood. You, my friend, you're not an engineer, but you would say, look, that concrete building is much better for me. It has 3 buildings. It can accommodate all what I need to do. I am young. I'm still, I want to have some more kids, and so it will have more space. So you are not an engineer, but you make that call. So I am doing the same here. I'm saying, looking in, I would say that a hospital with a concrete roof would be the ideal for, and I'm not sure if you understand the changes in the environment, the intensity of hurricanes, the change in the climate. I'm not sure if you understand that, and I really don't know. But for me, I go beyond just watching a building. All right, you got to look at the environment, and then you got to look at structures and building structures that can stand the challenges that are out there in the environment. So I am just trying to correct you and give you some wisdom here, that I am not an engineer, but common sense would dictate that, you build a certain way. All right, my friend? So I am not sure if I was able to help you there, but at least I made an effort. And I think I did a good one too. All right? So, and this is the thing that I'm saying to you folks. We are so blinded by colors that we do not see the reality. In other words, you can be hungry, out of a job, no proper health care, sick with cancer, and still jump up and say, well, I don't care about those things. My government is in power. I don't care. Yeah, my government, but you're dying, you're suffering. So, and that's what I'm saying, it is time for the society to look beyond colors and see what is best for your generation to come. Stop with the garbage. Stop with the garbage of, like I said to you, mepui and insults and name calling. That will not help the next generation. It's not going to help them. We got to set, and we are way behind in setting that foundation. You would agree with me that the developments in the country, it is way behind based on the challenges that are before the world, not only small developing states. The legal system, your health system, safety nets, and livable wage. There's another one that you guys don't understand much about, and that is unemployment insurance. Unemployment insurance. What are the safety nets out there for you in the society? So that's why I say to you that as a country, we are way behind. We are lacking. Why? Because governments come in and government goes out, and it's all about them. It is all about 5 years. It is always about rushing projects so that we can be re-elected. It is not really about building a nation. Infrastructure development, health, and all the other social stuff that I spoke about. So we have a lot to think about, and we have millions of dollars in debts, but not much to show when it comes to those things, those challenges, the foundation that we should set to meet those challenges. Billions of dollars, millions of dollars, most of them in consultant fees and wastage, but yet the systems are not in place in the society. So therefore you need to step back and you need to ask the right question. So the question, are you an engineer or not, will not help. We elect persons who are not engineers. We elect persons who are not smart. We elect persons who have no vision vision for the future. We elect persons who are angry at themselves, and so they're angry at others. So that's not the question for tonight. All right? That's not the question for tonight. And let me remind you folks that you should not attack the messengers. You should not attack messengers. Attack the issues. All right? Attack the issues. Now, just hold a minute. I see someone here, Elijah Benjamin. So let's just deal with this Benjamin person for a bit. I'm not sure why the insult. I suspect this person went to the school on a Facebook platform that encourages persons to disrespect each other. And so we will not have it here. We don't encourage this. And I always say to people that here, this is not a dumping ground. I know a lot of people are angry today. They're angry. They're saying, look, you all got a few hundred people to come and protest in the streets. So we're angry, and so we're coming for you all, and we will insult anything that passes in front of us. We cannot encourage that as a nation, as a people. Not on this platform. All right? So I am trying to find the person with the insult. Benjamin. Elijah Benjamin. I am sure Elijah have children. But I'm going to leave the comment there for a while. And matter of fact, I should even pin the insult so that Elijah can just reflect. Just reflect on your actions and put yourself in my position and ask yourself, how would you feel if someone does that to your grandmother, your mother, your cousin, your brother, or your children? Okay? I see Nimrod Biscom said, yes, Shas was not smart, and we elected him. I'm not even sure where that is going. That means nothing to me, what you just said there. That is not going to satisfy the issue at this time. So let's go quickly to the Prime Minister's address on the agreement, the memorandum of understanding with the lease of the port. Now, some will say it's a sale, it's a lease, management, and everything else. Let's see what the Prime Minister has to say. And I hope Mr. Nimrod Biscom and Elijah can stay on the program so that they can at least figure out whether it's a lease or a sale. All right, so let's go over to the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Pear.
The port developers.
There's absolutely no truth. Not even say, oh, we sold the pots. The last government began to negotiate with GPS before we were there.
Developers.
There's absolutely no truth. Not even say, oh, we sold the pots. The last government began to negotiate with GPS before we were there.
Okay. So there we have it. The Prime Minister is saying that the last government, you know, they were the ones who started the deal. Let's go back to him so that I cannot misrepresent what he's saying in respect to him.
The pod developers.
There's absolutely no truth. Not even we sold the pots.
Okay, so wait, let's take this one step at a time. So the Prime Minister is trying to clear the air because there's a lot of speculations out there. A lot of speculation. All right? A lot of speculations. And so the Prime Minister is trying to clear the air. He's trying to clear the air. Why? Because I do not think that there was proper communication. I don't think the government communicated their intentions to the people of St. Lucia enough, and that's why people were speculating, and some are saying it's a sale, and that's why we have all the questions out there, Mr. Prime Minister. It is because the people do not understand what you're saying about the deal. And that's why you, Mr. Prime Minister, have to come and try to clear it up. Now let's go back to the clip.
Developers.
There's absolutely no truth. Not even we sold the pots. I mean, what? I mean,
okay. Hold your horse, folks. So the Prime Minister is a little it seems like he's a little concerned because he's trying to catch his words in order to explain to you, the people, and to clarify. Now, why would you need to clarify if you had called the free press and not allow your office to document and to put stuff together and present it to the people? If the free press were there to ask questions and to help with checks and balances, then you would not be here trying to correct errors. Let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News Network. Just bear with me. I believe my system got to be reconnected. I had to disconnect. So you're on. Go ahead, caller.
How are you? Good evening, Brother Garfield, and good evening to all your listeners around the world and in St. Lucia. Brother Garfield,
Yes, sir.
What a day it was. I'm very, very happy that the peaceful protest that was held on the Derek Walker Square leading up to the William Peter Boulevard, it was a resounding success. The people of St. Lucia demonstrated their disgust and their disappointment with this government. Sadly, Brother Garfield, I have to report, it's not something that I take pleasure in doing, that this evening again we had another homicide, another murder. A young gentleman was shot dead in the city of Castries, adjacent to the Cicero bus stop. It's not a good thing to report on when we hear one life is lost, one young life at that. But the immediate response or the immediate question that jumps to my mind and to the mind of many St. Lucians is, what is this Labour Party government doing insofar as crime prevention and crime intervention? I mean, lives have been lost. People have been robbed. There are a lot of robberies now. The cases of robberies have increased. Businesses have been targeted. And it's just chaos and mayhem in the country. So today was a historic day, like I said earlier, and I want to say thank you to you for allowing me to join your broadcast this morning. And I want to say also thank you for bringing the broadcast live so that persons in the diaspora could have gotten the opportunity to see the protest. Those who were not in St. Lucia and wanted to see, they got the opportunity to view the protest. And by and large, we need to continue that. Protest is healthy for a democracy. Once there's no violence, acts of violence, it's healthy. This is what our Constitution gives us, that right to protest peacefully. Brother Garfield, you expected to have a guest. I think he's trying to come on. I think you know who that guest is. I'll keep it as a surprise for your viewers. He said he was trying to log in, but he had some difficulties. I don't know how you can facilitate that.
Okay. I'm going to send you a new code, and you will give the guests that code. All right.
Okay, so I will give somebody else a chance, but I just want to say to St. Lucia, let us continue to speak out. Let us continue to stand up for what's right, because we have the most vindictive, most incompetent government, Labour Party administration government, and we need to get them out at the soonest, because at the end of the day, if we do not do that, then there will be no St. Lucia. St. Lucia right now is in a bad place. The state of affairs of the country is chaotic. There's a lot of hopelessness and frustration. Unemployment is at its highest. A lot of people are not gainfully employed, they're not working. We have over 4,000 young persons leaving school each year, secondary school, and where is the jobs for them? Where is the employment for them? Alan Chasley, in his good wisdom, was able to provide, we get into the IT sector, the advent of the Ojo labs and the ITEL BPOs, and that generated much needed employment for the young people, particularly in the south of the country, in the V4s and in the libraries and in the deaneries and in the view forts and stuff and in the vehicles. So right now, this government, 15 months later, this Labour Party government have not created one single job. That is the reality of it. They have not generated one single job. And hence the reason why they hate to sign this memorandum of understanding with this foreign entity. Mm-hmm. Let us remind St. Lucia that this is the same Labour Party government when they were in opposition who said the United Workers' Party was only interested in friends, foreigners, and cliques. But look at what's happening. They more indulge in foreigners. They criticize Cabot. Who is in bed with Cabot now? That very Labour Party government in opposition criticized the Cabot development. Made St. Lucians believe that it was the worst thing. Now who has embraced Cabot? That very Labour Party. And that is the double standard and the hypocrisy of the Labour Party. So I will end there, and I want to say, keep up the good work, Brother Garfield. Keep doing what you're doing. And I want to say to your viewers and your listeners, let us keep the focus. Let us not be distracted. We have a country to save. So, Brother Garfield, on that note, I want to say a good night to you and a good night to all your listeners. And let us keep praying that one day Liberation Day will be coming, and it will be coming very soon. Have a good night, Brother Garfield.
Thank you, Brother Ian. And I send you the new code. And just ask the person to come in, and then I will see them and bring them on the platform. All right. So there you have it. That's Mr. Ian's opinion. But first of all, let's go back to the clip with Mr. Pear. Mr. Pear is saying that the port, it was not sold, and I don't believe that it was sold to anybody. It is still the property of St. Lucia. There's a memorandum of understanding that was signed, and I suspect that they're going into a lease agreement with the company to manage the ports, both Soufrière and the Vieux-Fort, the Castries port. Okay, so let's go back to the Prime Minister as he tries to clarify the issue here. All right.
The port developers.
There's absolutely no truth. Not even we sold the pots. The last government began to negotiate with GPS before we were there.
All right. So what you would discover, my friends, is that, and you got to listen to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister said that the last government under the United Workers' Party started negotiations with this company. All right? And so he continued the process, and I mean, this is the agreement. So we got to look, you got to read, we got to get more understanding of what this 40-year lease is all about. But I know that there are countries who went into some of these agreements, and because, especially in Africa, because they could not have keep up with the agreement, they lost some of those ports, especially to the Chinese. Caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News Network.
All right. So I am trying to find the person.
Caller, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead, caller.
Pastor Garfield,
Yes, my friend.
what I'm saying, they went into the agreement with the company, the last government. This present government go ahead with it. They paid for Dubai. They went ahead with it. So why they don't want to go ahead with the hospital? Is there no profit in the hospital for them? Because the last government knows what it will take to finish the hospital. So they don't see no money in their pocket for the hospital. So they will not touch it. Now they'll go to the old hospital where everybody will have their share and the cut. My God, have mercy on St. Lucia.
Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so I have a guest with me. Thank you, caller. I have a guest with me, and I will introduce my guest shortly. I'm just trying to get him into a frame with me. Just bear with me, folks. But remember again, the number is 929-586-1821. All right, so I'm going to be doing my best here to get our guest, our honorable guest, on to the platform. All right, so just bear with me, and we will have our guest on. Yes, sir. All right, folks, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. TP.
Hi, Pastor Garfield. How are you?
Oh,
and good evening to all of your listeners.
You make my heart glad tonight. I'm happy to see you, my friend. You look fresh and happy and excited. How's the day? How was the day?
I am. It was a good day. It was a good day. It was a victorious day for all supporters of the United Workers' Party and the people of this country. We made a very big statement, a statement that was worthy of making. And the numbers today far exceeded what we expected for Tuesday morning, when everybody's at work and nobody really comes out to such a protest. So in other words, we made history here in the country this morning by becoming one of the first political organizations to have a protest on a Tuesday morning or on a weekday so very early and still have people attend it. Yeah.
Wow. So I heard some of the critics complaining about the crowd, and even government officials asking where the 15,000. I'm not even sure where they got the idea of 15,000 persons coming down to Castries today. I'm not sure.
Well, we can clear this, and this government has mismanaged so badly that they anticipated 15,000 people coming out to campaign against them. You understand, or to protest against them. So that number was an imaginary number in the head of Ernest Hille. It was an imaginary number in the head of the usual critics. We never asked for that. Our letter clearly stated, which we will release tomorrow to the police, stating that we probably will not exceed 1,000 people. And so the protest was never designed for 15,000. The protest was designed for anywhere from 1,000 to below 1,000 persons. And we achieved that. I'm not saying it was 1,000 people. I'm just saying we achieved that in terms of the numbers this morning. And so when the Labour Party and Ernest Hille tried to come out and say that, we expected 15,000 people, that's far from the truth. It just goes to the fact that this government have loads of persons who are pathological liars. And so they've mismanaged this economy, they've mismanaged crime, they've mismanaged healthcare, they've mismanaged all aspects of our country, that in their minds they did expect 15,000 people to come out there and protest against the poor management of the country. And that's all what's going on here today. Yes.
Well, Mr. Prudent, I was surprised myself with the turnout today. When I saw the excitement and You know, the folks were respectful, they were orderly, and
Yes,
it is
this is
something
right.
that, and it seems to me, looking from outside, that the Labour Party supporters were very calm themselves. What was the mood on the
Because
ground?
the momentum is with the United Workers' Party and its supporters. We are the ones who had all of the enthusiasm. We were the ones who had all of the excitement. And as we went through the boulevard and along Labrie Street, there weren't any major heckling or anything like that going on, because these people know that the Labour Party supporters, who were few of them who had gathered there, know that the Labour Party have failed them. This Labour Party government have failed them miserably. So they were in no mood to defend this government. They were in no mood to quarrel with United Workers' Party supporters who were chanting. And so they understood very well that we were doing a service to our country, and they respected that. And some of them were cheering us along as we went along the path towards the boulevard and it's inside of the boulevard. And this is what is happening here. I want to say to United Workers' Party supporters, this is just the beginning. Today was just the beginning of something big. And and we are going to have plenty of other of opportunities to protest. And this protest, those series of protests can only get larger and larger and larger as we go by. But I just want to say to you, thank you so very much, those of you who came out. We appreciated it from the bottom of our hearts. You behaved yourself impeccably well. You respected the law, and you abided by everything the police wanted us to adhere to. And United Workers' Party supporters and independents and the Labour Party supporters who joined us in this protest this morning, they must be commended for how they carried themselves out during this protest.
Yes. And we know that based on the time and the day of the
Yes.
protest, then a lot of persons were at work and could not have been there.
Attended the protest, yes.
And
but
so,
what was nice about it is,
go ahead, sir.
Thank you. What was nice about it was the fact that when we finished the protest, we head back to Derek Walcott Square, and that's when the cultural event began, with the taboos, with the shaks, and with all of the dancing. And this was a sight to see, Pastor Garfield. I know that you're a man of God. I know that you probably wouldn't be dancing and whining like us. You know, we are children
I like
of God
to dance,
too,
you know.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Lovely. But even myself, I found myself, dancing and moving, because it felt like a celebration. It felt like a mood that was pushing us forward. And you know what happened? This government, a bunch of cowards, they ran away from town. They all ran away from Castries, believing that 15,000 people, as they had projected, would come out to protest against them, and they all ran out of the city. And guess what? We ran that city this morning. That city belongs to us this morning.
Yes.
And we were not intimidated. We were not afraid. We never felt for 1 minute that we were not in control of this protest. And we very much were in control of the protest.
Wow. I was happy to see, everyone enjoyed themselves together. And I saw a number of the hierarchy of the United Workers' Party in support.
Yes.
Especially
Yes.
Mr. Shastri. And this is one thing I admire with him. He is
Yes.
not shy when it comes to crowd. He will go in and he will hug you. And if
This
possible,
is
he will
right.
kiss you. He will be there with you.
This is right. Because this is the man he is.
Yes.
And I stood next to him.
I saw
We
you all the
marched
way.
together. Yes, we marched together.
Yes.
And after a while, I was wondering to myself, why is this man's chant even louder than mine? And why is this man's chant louder than mine? And he was having a good time. He was having a good time. There was no pretense there. There was not make believe there. Alan Shastney had a very good day, and he was well received by his people and even some opposition people alike who came down the route when we were coming through Labrie Street, who came to hug him and to wish him well. And I won't mention some of the names. There were even names in the Labour Party that, in the machinery of the Labour Party, a few of them came in to wish him well on our way to the boulevard. Yes,
That's breaking news tonight.
That's breaking news tonight.
So,
That's right. That's right.
Well,
Yes.
on our live, we have a lot of the supporters of the Labour Party. They're trying to disturb the platform tonight, but we know they just wanted to be in the presence of the group, and they're welcome.
Yes, we welcome them. We welcome them, and we should welcome them. And as a matter of fact, anytime they listen to the Caribbean American Network, I know that they're being educated.
Yeah.
And we want to educate them, and we want to welcome you guys here, because this is the only place that you will be educated and to help enlighten you. We know that you have a very heavy load. We know that your hearts are very heavy because you've made a mistake in electing a government with no plan, absolutely no plans. We know that you're crying inside and you need help. We are here to help you guys. We are here to lend a hand to you guys. And we are here to console you, because we know that you are grieving inside, because this is not your expectations of what you thought your government should be.
Thank you so much, Mr. TP. Any last words to the supporters?
Well, I want to say to the supporters of the United Workers' Party, you made us proud. You made us proud today. And you conducted yourselves in ways that we expected. And the enthusiasm that you brought this morning to this march was the best that I had ever seen in years. We want to also thank those in the diaspora. I want to let you know that you're very important. To those in the New York Flambeau Caucus, to those in the Toronto Canadian Caucus, to those persons who are in the United Workers' Party UK Caucus, we want to thank you tremendously for the amount of work that you did in trying to make this, a success, even if you were far away. We thank you for your contributions, the many contributions that you all gave in terms of the buses that we had to pay for, the water that we had to pay for, the juices that we had to give out. You have no idea how thankful we are. And we are on our way, Pastor Garfield, to put together very soon, I believe, next week, the Martinican Flambeau Caucus.
Oh.
And we have just started to paint the entire diaspora yellow. And I can guarantee you St. Lucia will be painted yellow when the next elections is called. And we will win the next elections. There's no doubt about that.
All right. Once we have righteousness on the side, then it is all well.
Yes.
But I'll be in England sometime soon. I heard that there will be the launch of the English caucus, the British caucus up there.
Yes.
Is it in
but
December?
Also the Canadian, not in December, sorry. It's the Canadian caucus there in the first week in December. They will be launched in Toronto. And I will be traveling there too. And of course, I won't say who else is going to come, but there are going to be other persons traveling along to be present with them.
And I would want to make the announcement that I was invited, and I'm going to be there to witness, that event. And also,
Beautiful.
I will be in England, not only for my sister-in-law's funeral, but I will be there also for...
accept my condolences, yes.
Thank you. I will be there for the launch of that caucus there also.
Yes, that's right.
So we continue to pray, we continue to hope, and we continue to ask the supporters to remain calm.
Remain calm. Stay focused. Keep your eyes on the prize, UWP. Keep your eyes on the prize.
Yes.
And remember, whilst this government is claiming that they need to protect the victory, the onus is upon us as supporters of the United Workers' Party to dismantle the victory. And when I talk about dismantling the victory, I'm not talking in any violent sense. I'm talking about saving our country. I am talking about reclaiming our country. I'm talking about having a government that is responsible enough to the people of St. Lucia to be at the helm of running this country. And this is all I am asking, and this is the focus you should be. This is what you should be focusing on, not the nonsense that passes and the garbage that is spewed out there by persons who are adverse to the United Workers' Party, and including the St. Lucia Labour Party. We want to say to you, keep your eyes on the prize, because we're not too far. 3.5 years is not too far. So keep your eyes on the prize, because that day is coming when the United Workers' Party will return to victory, to power here in this country.
Yes,
and we will
sir.
work hard, and we have to work very hard. Let me just say, we have to work very hard. It's not an easy road. It is not. But no, don't believe for one instant that we cannot defeat the St. Lucia Labour Party in the next election. This is what should be at the minds of everyone and in the back of the heads of everyone, that we can defeat this government.
Thank you, Mr. Pete and TP. And let me just say to the public, those of
Yes.
I know everybody knows you because I'm watching the live and they are going crazy over on YouTube. We have a large viewership over there also, and the folks are excited.
Yes.
Now, I don't want to fall into the trap of calling you the chairman of the party, because I don't want
Not yet.
Mr. Daniel and
Not
me to
as yet.
feel bad,
No, no,
and
no.
I don't want
Yes.
any bad blood. So I say to you,
No, there
God
won't
bless
be.
you.
Yes.
And
you.
your ear is on the ground, so you know exactly
Yes.
what is out there. And so
Yes, I
looking
do.
forward
I
to
do. I
the tasks ahead, looking forward in working with you brothers and sisters in making St. Lucia a better place for all.
Amen.
A better
Amen.
place for all. And I'm committed.
Absolutely.
I'm
Yes.
committed as a Christian to being a part of the process and assisting in every way possible. So thank you,
Amen.
Mr. TP. Looking forward to meeting you
Thank
again.
you.
And let me say to the folks,
Absolutely.
TP is a fun brother. He's very funny. He's very serious. He's a good man who loves his country. And I'll say to
Thank
you,
you.
if you lose Mr. TP, then you are losing a very good man that you need. So please, don't eat your own. Support him and pray for him.
That's right.
When he makes mistakes,
Amen.
let's just call him on the phone and
You
say,
can
I
correct-
think we should have done this
correct
a little
me.
better, but
Yes.
don't go out there leaking
This is
stuff
right.
and causing chaos. All right?
This is right.
We are
This
one
is right.
people.
Yes.
There's one focus.
That's right. And it is to defeat this government and to reclaim our country.
That's right.
Yes.
The fight is not on the
Thank you.
inside. Thank you, and say hi to your wife for me.
I will. She's down here. She was
She's
in
in
the
St.
protest
Lucia?
today. Yes, this was the very first protest she ever attended.
Oh my!
And she was she had a good time. She had
Oh
a
my
beautiful
God,
time.
that's good.
And after a while, I was like, "Where did you get all that energy from?" And she was moving and she was having fun.
Well, she
and
has a
we
lot of
were
energy. I
being-
saw her at the house
yes,
there,
yes,
non-stop.
yes.
She's just back and forth.
Absolutely. And the thing about her, here's someone who is a partner in one of the largest accounting firms in here in New York, and she never believes that her position comes before anything else, and she's humble, she's respectful of others, and I can say for the 33 years that we've been married, I have been a happy man, and I couldn't have asked for more. Yes.
And I thought it was the protest that really had you happy, but your wife is there. That's your happiness.
she
Your
was
number one
there,
happiness.
so there was a double excitement. Yes.
Yes. So God bless you, and
Yes,
folks,
yes,
if you all
yes,
don't know,
yes,
Mr.
okay.
TP and his wife, they are my neighbors here where I live here
Yes,
in the United
yes,
States.
absolutely.
Very close.
Amen.
And I could walk to the house for
Absolutely.
tea or for dinner.
This
but
is
I
right.
wouldn't do that.
This is right.
Not quite yet.
You're welcome anytime. You know that.
And
You're
listen to
welcome
me,
anytime.
his wife is a very good cook. I am telling you,
Yeah.
that's all I can say.
Yes.
So, Mr. TP, God bless you, and thank you for being here
Okay.
with us tonight.
Thank you.
And
Thank
you are
you.
welcome
And just
to
to
the
all,
platform at any time, okay?
thank you so very much. And I want to say to all of you out there, I love you. I genuinely love you. I care about you. And I am so happy with the way that you're so energized. Keep this energy going, because we will need it to be able to sustain us as we move through the effort of unseating this government. Thank you again. Okay.
God bless you. All right, Mr. TP.
Bye
Thank you
bye.
so much.
Okay. Thank you.
And there you have it, folks. Okay, good. So, folks, there you have it. Mr. Prudent, I had the privilege of meeting him for the first time here in New York, and both Mr. TP and his wife and his family, they are beautiful people. And I sat with them in the backyard after the program. I went back the following day. We sat, we had fun, we laughed. We spoke about some St. Lucian history with Mr. John Compton. And, you know, just, it was a beautiful experience, just sitting and listening to the wealth of knowledge and information that Mr. TP has, and his wife, very hard worker. All right. So thank you again, Mr. TP, for being here with us tonight. And folks, remember the lines are open 929-586-1821. To our YouTube viewers, we want to again welcome you. And on our platform, what I realized tonight is, and I would go into block some of the persons who are causing disturbance. I understand the problem. You guys, your government is in power. There is no need to run around insulting people. You are not in opposition. I am not sure how to say this to you. You've got to learn to respect people's opinion. You do not have to curse people or call them out of their names. I do not understand how I can say this anymore to you. It's uncivilized behavior. It is uncouth. It is not even human to do what some of you people are doing. And I keep saying to you that we are living in the year 2022. It is not the dark ages where you used to light flambeau and candle. It is the age of enlightenment, of information and knowledge, but yet our people are perishing because of lack of knowledge. Our people are still in a level of ignorance, disrespect to each other. And for the life of me, these are Christians. Some of them are Christians. That's the problem. They call themselves Christians. And that is why young people are turned off from these type of characters. Because they profess one thing and they do something else. We welcome people, different opinions on the platform. It is okay to be a United Workers' Party on the platform. It is okay to be a Labour Party supporter on the platform. It is okay. It is okay to be a Christian. It is okay to be a non-Christian on the platform. I need everybody on the platform. But for God's sake, respect each other. Let us have a conversation where we can agree, disagree. You can share your opinions. I can respect it and still love you, and we can move on as a nation. This is what is crippling the country of St. Lucia. The level of ignorance, and you see it in high offices, where sometimes the house is being used as a cussing ring and a Mapui ring. Who was born with golden spoon and not? How golden spoon, what golden spoon has to do with a debate, a political debate? It is not two old women sitting down cussing off each other. These are adult men. Either you're white, you're not from our country, you're a thief, you're a liar, you were born with a golden spoon. Listen to me. I am telling you, Mr. Philip J. Pear's daughter or children will get a golden spoon when he dies. Will Mr. Pear be happy with someone saying to his child, you were born with a golden spoon, so you're no good? You can't serve your country because you were born with a golden spoon. Now, this is the ignorance that we display in the society. Many of you were born with silver spoon. Your parents worked hard, labored hard. What are you saying that when a parent decide, when a parent dies, that they should just give away their monies to everybody and leave their children without anything? Is that what you're saying? That families should be happy to be born in poverty and stay there? If everybody can be born with a silver spoon, your country would be a better country. If everybody was born with enough, then you would have a better country, a better society. I'm not saying that you wouldn't have crime and all these things, but it would have been less. So to walk around and chastising an individual because he was born in a rich family or born with asset, then there's a problem with the debate. There's a problem with the debate, especially from adults who were elected to serve the people. So I say it again, many of you under the sound of my voice who are politicians, your children will receive the golden spoon when you die. Your assets, your house, your monies, your insurance policy. So my advice to you, if golden spoon is a problem, why don't you take all your asset and give it to the poor? Let's fix the golden spoon problem. You live by example. You started. You do your will now. And distribute it to those who are in need in St. Lucia, so that your children would not be born with silver spoon in their mouth. And I'm just here to expose the hypocrisy in the society. How can you have a better society with that type of mentality, gutterish mentality, where it is, I don't like you because you have stuff, so I got to find something to destroy you on? How you build a society like that? Tell me. How do you build a society like that? That's not sustainable. You're going to kill yourself. You're going to destroy yourself. So I am happy for anyone who bonds with something. Anyone who born into a family with asset. I am happy. And that's not a problem for me. All right? I have no problem with that. And I close that case because me discussing this thing, it makes no sense at all. It's beyond me. It's beyond me to be discussing golden spoon. Huh? So let's get to work. The number is 929-586-1821. Let me know if you are at the march, the rally. How was it? Call. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. And I'm happy that persons were able to go out and exercise their democratic rights, while you have others saying that they are animals, they are not St. Lucians because they went out. It is good for one side, it's not good for the other side. One party is known for protesting all their lives. And that's what I'm saying to you. All of you are St. Lucians. Let's set this up straight. All of you are St. Lucians, whether you vote for the UWP or the SLP, or you're an independent, you all are St. Lucians. And I keep saying to you, sons and daughters of St. Lucia, be proud of being a St. Lucian. Don't tear yourself down. Do not tear yourself down. Build up yourself. You are one nation, one people. And there is no black, white, pink, yellow, Indian. You are one. You're one nation. So when you say to one set, my party is in power, so you're not humans anymore. You're not St. Lucians. And when the United Workers' Party get in power, they say the SLP, you're not people, you're not humans. It got to stop somewhere. And so when one party gets in power, they fire all the SLPs or they fire all the UWPs. It's St. Lucians. You're firing St. Lucian, for God's sake. You're firing your own people. There are families who are depending on the income. So it is time for us to rise above this ignorance. And that's what it is. We got to call it out. The hypocrisy, the ignorance. The hypocrisy, the ignorance. There's a famous priest in St. Lucia. The man speaks. He speaks his mind. He speaks his heart. He's not a good guy. He's not a St. Lucian. He's not a human. Why? Because he's not a hypocrite. He speaks openly to you. It seems you love hypocrisy. You prefer people to tell you a lie and to comfort you with a lie than to tell you the truth. But the Bible says that the truth shall set you and I free. So don't come and play this kind of game. And many of you are religious experts. You don't go to church. You don't care about church. All you care about is your rum and your dance and your stealing and your cheating. That's all you're concerned about. But all of a sudden, because a man of God is on the scene, then you are a religious expert in theology. You know who should speak, who should be, what you should be in church, you should be doing evangelism, you should not be in talking about social issues and what is affecting people into society. And when things hit your home, then you ask, where are the churches? So I am asking tonight, where are the churches with all that is happening in the society? Where are they? So don't come for me. I am rooted and grounded. I ain't ordinary, and I keep saying that. But it is not about me tonight. It is about trying to bring together a nation. Trying to explain to the nation that you cannot survive. You cannot survive with your party politics. You gotta survive together as one. Because when sickness and disaster strike the land and you are divided, then you cannot make it. If a Labour Party lives on the left and a United Workers Party lives on the right, and there is a fire destroying each other's home, what do? You pull your party colors, and so you can't wet your neighbor's house because they're Labour Party or they're UWP. That's what you will do. So learn to discuss issues and leave people's character out of it. Because all have sinned and come short. You all are messed up. We all are nasty. We all are filthy rags. And all of us got to rely on the grace of God to make us into somebody. You see people walking around with ties and acting like they're so big and famous. You are nothing. You are dirt. You are political dirt. You are religious dirt. You are an atheist dirt. You are a non-believer dirt. You are female dirt. You are male dirt. We are all dirt. And the value that's in us is Jesus. So don't be pointing people's sins at them and say, this one thief and this one lie and this one this. Each of us can find enough in our own selves that we did in the past, that we regret, that we're not proud of. Enough, we have done enough. I dare any one of you to cast the stones. And I can go under the live and pick out 100 of you, and I can paint your past before you, and you will be ashamed of it. Just like you can paint mine, and I'm ashamed of it too. So you are in this together. You are in it together. You ain't better than anybody else. And I always say to people that two parties cannot serve at the same time in a country. One government goes in, serve their time, another one comes in at the behest of the people, and they serve, and that's how it goes. the strongest man wins. But you have an idea that only you are the only one supposed to win, and the others should shut up and go home. That's not democracy, friends. By the way, that's if some of us understand what a democracy is. That's if we understand what a democracy is. But I am saying to you, friends, what I'm saying, it is time for it to stop. It's time for stop. And until some people start taking some of you to high court and you pay for your mouth, you would not keep it shut. Unless some of you start paying for the things that you say, that you know nothing about, then you would not stop. You would not stop. So be careful what you say about people. Be careful how you treat people. Be careful what you say. Some of you don't know Mr. Shastney enough to cast the judgments that you're casting. You try to paint this man as the worst of the worst, and I say to you, he's not the worst of the worst. Philip Japet is not the worst of the worst. Philip Japet is not the enemy of St. Lucia. Mr. Shastney is not the enemy of St. Lucia. These are persons who have given their service to the country to help develop your country. But it seems that every time somebody put themselves out there to serve your country, then all of a sudden you stain them as being nasty and dirty. And you have done it with John Compton. You have done it with every prime minister that you have elected in the past. You have stained their names and their family names. Every one of them. There is not one that you embrace as yours. Not one. And I'm going to tell you the truth because it will set you and I free. There is not one of them that you have celebrated. You have removed their pictures from the house and offices. You try to erase their very footprint on the ground in St. Lucia. Yes, you did it. And unless you repent of that unrighteousness, then you will continue in your mess. You will continue just like chickens without a neck, back and forth, because you don't appreciate your leaders and their sacrifice. Do you know what it takes to serve a country as a leader? Do you know? There's some leader that you have to expose because they're stubborn. Some of them don't listen. But you got to respect the people. Who is going to be your leaders of tomorrow? You think those young people would want to put their names forward to serve their country? Do you know how Americans are proud to serve their country? Yes, they give each other mepui too. But you have to have you have to feel, you must have that excitement to serve in various parts of your system so that you can better the society. But you are busy tearing each other down. You put your name forward and they go and they dig up every sin that you have done in the past. Every sin, they bring it out. But guess what? The same persons who are bringing out your sins, they are more dirty and corrupt. They are worse than you. Anytime you see people accusing people, check them out. I guarantee you, anybody you see throwing people's past in their face and their faults in their face, you just check them out. You will discover that they are the worst of the worst. You will discover that some of them were married 10 times, 100 times. They beat their wives. They cuff their wife in the eye. They kick their wife. They spit in the wife's face. They have 10 jabals down the road. Ricardo, Teresa, Agatha, everybody. So don't come with that kind of sanctimonious, holier than thou talk here tonight. And don't come trying to try to tell me how I should run my show. Go have your own show if you have a brain. There's too much jealousy and bad mind in the land. Bitterness and anger destroys the people. Killing each other, bitterness, anger, hatred, jealousy. The neighbor buys a car, you're jealous, you go and you puncture the neighbor car, you spit on it, you scratch it, you pray that he gets in an accident. Why? Because you don't have one. That's the mentality. And don't tell me I'm wrong. You can't tell me I'm wrong. The neighbor's child is succeeding. You hate that neighbor's guts. Some of you jealous of people's wife and their children and their house and their car and their jobs, and you're just a jealous, jacked up person. You got to change or you'll be bitter all your life. You salty people. But I'm happy that I'm speaking to a people under my life. They're not salty and bitter. But for those of you who come around to insult and to besmirch people, you're salty. And you need to repent or you go to hell. You perish. Bearing false witness against your neighbor. Repeating things that you know nothing about. One man says Shasney not good, and all of you start preaching the same thing. And when you meet him, you say, oh, I thought you was a bad guy. You know nothing about him, just repeating like a parrot what you hear. Get to know people first. You get to know people, you'll love them, you'll like them, you'll appreciate them. Stop going with what people say. Politicians tell you this one not good, and so you're repeating they're not good, they're not good. What have they done to you? Nothing. And that's why I love Mr. Shasney, and I will continue to pray for him. And I guarantee you that weapons will never stand against him. You can call him what you want. The worst of the worst. Mr. TP, I love him. And I don't care what you say. I love him. John Compton, I had loved this guy. Huh? I don't know the others enough to make such a statement. But love covers a multitude of sin. Not hate. Hate dries up your bone, yet you're bitter. Some of you have high blood pressure, diabetes, because you have full of hate and bitterness and jealousy and envy. So how can you be better? Your life is just bitter. See. Not even juice they can make with you. You're bitter. Sugar have nothing. Sugar can't even fix you. Or honey. You got to change your mind. Let your mind be renewed. Renewed. Let it be renewed. Some of you don't know me. You never see me. You don't know me. Some of you. You heard of me. Some of you don't know half the people under the live. Huh? Like I went on a show there in St. Lucia, and the guy said, I will send you a ticket for you to come down to the studio. But the guy think that I was born yesterday. I have visions of rapture, you know. I see you from afar off. And guess what the guy was doing? Stick with me. You know what the guy was doing? When I checked it out, and the Spirit of God allowed me to realize that the guy believed that I am illegal here and I can't travel. So he says, I will pay the ticket for you to come down. Wait a minute, why are you paying a ticket for me to come down? To do what? Why? So that's what I'm saying. That's how we operate. Somebody writes something, we pick it up and we run with it. And guess what? Sometimes some of those same families that you're cursing off have helped your own families in the past. The same people that you're trying to destroy are the same persons who in the past, in some way or form or shape or form, helped your own families, both here in the United States and in other parts of the world, and you don't know that. And you're bringing on cursed on yourself. Do you know when you bear false witness against someone that you are blighting yourself and your family, your generation? How do you think generational curse comes? That's how generational curse comes. That's why some of you can't sleep at night. Des mois call. Lâchez des mois. Let the devil go. Let it go. Generational curse, break it. And be better. But let's stop telling off each other. Let's go to the thing. So 929-586-1821. Let's go over to Castries again and let's have a look. Now, I don't know. Let me just show you some of the pictures, folks, of today.
That's level. Hey, they live around. Flat down. Flat down. Flat down. Flat. Okay.
Yes, man, that was in Castries today. And ever since that march, it looked like, I mean, everybody has just gone angry, cussing off each other. Y'all got to respect each other, all right? The people had their right to gather together in their country to speak on the issues that are affecting them. They have their rights to do it. So don't come under the live and be destroying and cursing people and then talking about numbers. The folks were out, and that is the point. They came out in large numbers. They came from the different communities. You had young people, you had older ones, you had some grannies, you had some grandpa, you had young people, you had a whole set of different persons there. And it was a good sight because you can see as I said, you can see the democracy of the nation in play. You can see people exercising their rights, people walking without fear. That's not what you want in your country. Listen to me, folks. This is part of the democracy of your country. Don't let nobody who can't spell their name go on Facebook and tell you that you did something so bad and you know it's not good. Listen to me. This alone helped to excite your base. What you did there today was enough to excite your base and to get people to want to get involved. You want people to be involved in what is happening in your country. Huh? That's what you want. What do you want? A dictatorship in your country? Where if you go into the street, you're arrested and you're dragged into jail and sent to body lay? And God forbid what happens next? That's what you want? So folks, I'm saying to you, you did nothing wrong. Now, let me just get to some of the comments tonight, all right? Let's pay attention to some of the comments. So Mr. Victor Eugene, who is a supporter of the Labour Party, is saying, Garfield, which large numbers are you talking about? Now, you see what I'm just talking about? We just discussed the same thing. And here we go again. So I'm not even going to give that any airtime. Pastor, your life brings forward all demons tonight. That's all right. Caribbean American News Network caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're on the air.
Yeah, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored, sir.
Well, I've been watching your program and really enjoying it. I don't know if you know my voice.
The voice?
I can't hear you too well.
Oh, you can't hear me too well?
Yeah.
Can
okay, I hear you a little better now.
You hear me better now?
Yeah, very interesting discussion and comments you made to St. Lucia audience. I wish that all of St. Lucia would be able to hear you. First of all, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Lionel Ellis, and I used to be on Sky FM.
Hold on a minute, Mr. Ellis.
That's right.
Mr. Ellis, I remember you, your name. You know why? I don't know if you remember Mr. Jules. He was the manager of Bring St. Lucia.
Yes, very much so, yeah.
Well, I remember we had some walkie-talkies, and I had to, you were the one who serviced them or organized them for us. I remember the name now.
Yeah, I've been in radio for all my life.
Yes, sir.
Providing two-way communications and particularly disaster communications throughout the region, throughout the Caribbean.
Thank you, Mr. Ellis, for calling.
But, I'm closely related to the United Workers' Party.
Okay.
And I've done so because I've seen and experienced firsthand since I returned to St. Lucia from Canada, where I live. And by the way, I'm in Montreal right now, up here until early in next year.
Yes.
And happen to have the time to sit and really enjoy your program, which is very interesting, very enlightening.
Thank you, sir.
The problem I find in St. Lucia, and this is not being biased towards the UWP or hatred for the St. Lucia Labour Party. I find that St. Lucians should understand that it takes all to make the world go round, and this is what I get out of your preaching tonight.
Yeah.
That everybody has value.
Yeah.
And but not everybody can be on top of the world.
No.
Somebody have to lead. There must be a leader, and there must be a follower. Mm-hmm. Now, I have known Sir John Compton. I've seen the style and the management of Vaughan Lewis when he was Prime Minister. Winston Snack, a number of leaders since I returned to St. Lucia. And I saw Kenny Anthony perform, and I knew one of the problems we had in St. Lucia, and we still have, is exactly what you referred to tonight as jealousy and envy. It seemed inherent in the culture of St. Lucia. And I remember when Mr. Alan Shastney put his head into the ring in St. Lucia. He was attacked for his education, for his money, for the color of his skin. And this was particularly sad for me because my background, my family history is from white and black. And I got I get offended by this. And I couldn't stand the likes of the leaders of the SLP endorsing this image right up to the last march they had just before the elections when they said they didn't want white people in St. Lucia, we are black. And I was on the radio at the time, and I begged the Prime Minister, the present Prime Minister or the leader of the SLP to denounce that statement.
Yeah.
St. Lucia depends on white people. St. Lucia needs white people. St. Lucia have Syrians, Indians, Chinese. Everybody is in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
And the state, the country would not survive by only the St. Lucians who are living there. They depend on foreigners to come in and give the country some impetus, some share of the world.
Yeah.
And therefore, when you have leaders who come on the air and try to make it look as though Alan Shastri, because of the color of his skin, goodness gracious, is the worst thing for St. Lucia and will not denounce it by his own followers. That is what hurts me.
Yeah.
And secondly, you know, the same people that are saying that you don't want white people here, they depend on their children to get jobs in the hotels owned by white people. They depend on the foreigners.
Yeah.
Look at what has happened in St. Lucia since the elections. You have a man who disrupted the church, went in and disrupted a church, is made minister of churches. When have you heard any of the churches come out and say this is a bad example? They like they've turned mute.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I've been very quiet because I gave the Labour Party time to sit in there.
Yeah.
There's no fault of them. Maybe it's a fault of the United Workers' Party supporters that didn't come out and support their party. I have been called coward by UWP supporters because I didn't continue my lamenting against the Labour Party after the election.
Yeah.
I fought what I thought was a good fight for my party vocally. But then when I realized that the Labour Party won, whether they won it illegally by lies, by malicious knocking, beating of pants or what, that's the way they did it and they won. I wanted to give them time to see what they could made of. But what has happened since then? You see them falling apart.
Yeah.
My question is for St. Lucians, is that I don't want to hear our party say we've taken our country back. That is what the SLPP was saying, that they've taken their country back.
Yeah.
The country is not owned by the SLP, it's not owned by the UWP, it's owned by all St. Lucians. And I detest that comment, even by members of my own party.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I think St. Lucians have a big, big problem. They must be able to, our leaders, the people who lead our country, must be able to know right from wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
You have the Rovergate scandal that any reasonable person looking at what has transpired can see that something was wrong.
Yeah.
You can see the situation that's happening now in St. Lucia with crime. You can see the problems that the average St. Lucians are fed up. They have serious problems, and they're at a point now where they're being threatened by bazookas. You know,
Yep.
when you have the Speaker of the House coming out with that kind of hatred,
Yeah.
and in his position as Speaker, he should not even be on television.
No.
He
That's
should
right.
not be on radio, because in the real world, the broadcast media, the politicians or the so-called politicians have to stay off
Yeah.
the public media because it's influential to the minds of the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So persons like Claudius Francis should not even be on television if he wants to take a significant role as Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
But our standards, our broadcasting standards in St. Lucia are out of the way. They're far from reality. In the real world, that would never happen.
No, not at all.
You see? So I try to, I'm on holiday now in Montreal, and I just had the time to really sit and listen to your program.
Yeah.
And I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
And there's a lot more that will come out by me personally, because I believe, as you said tonight, some sense have to be prevailed with St. Lucians.
Yeah.
They're hurting their own selves.
Yeah.
They're hurting their own selves. You know, there's no reason why the Prime Minister have to come and tell anybody he's a black man. Anybody can see he's a black man. Goodness gracious. You as Prime Minister, you have to come on the air and say, I'm a black man.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at what has happened in England, where institutions are not listening. Look at what happened in England. Who is the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom now, sir?
That's right.
An Indian,
Yep.
a Hindu.
Yep.
And we in St. Lucia, 238 square miles. The number of the people in St. Lucia can fit on a street in New York or a street in London. And we're talking about a white man.
Yep.
I mean, sir, I don't want to take up your whole program.
No. I can listen to
but
you all
I
night.
just had to call you.
Yeah, I can listen to you, sir. Yes, sir. Wow.
I'm not hearing you too well, so please forgive me.
No, that's okay. I can listen to you. You're doing fine. Wow.
Yeah, I really have a lot to say, but really and truly, I just wanted to make the connection from Montreal, where I'm enjoying my holiday with my family.
Enjoy it, sir, and thank you for your service to St. Lucia.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
God bless. Thank you, sir. There you have it, folks. That's Mr. Ellis. I knew him a very long time. I was a young boy. You know, I remember we had some hand radios that needed servicing, and Mr. Ellis, you know, was the one who were able to connect us. And I remember we had a robbery either in Micoud or somewhere around there, going out of Poile. And we were in the boulevard at Scotiabank in our vehicle, and we heard our men reporting that they were being robbed at the time. And he was the one who fixed that signal where it was, you know, we were able to connect to each other. So thank you, Mr. Ellis, for all that you do, and God bless you. Amen. All right, folks. So let's take a few more calls. 929-586-1821. Like I said to you, let me just look at it. Mr. Gustin, that's Cecilia, better known as Joy from is it Labrie? Yes. We are still working on that situation there, and we will bring to you that coverage when we get the information from the family and from the authorities. But it is something that you should keep your eyes on, and I will tell you that it's not going to go down well. That's all I can say to you. All right, and again, my encouragement to you, my fellow St. Lucians, is to learn to respect each other. Speak positively. Speak good of each other. Speak good of each other. All right? And in return, if you have a society that practices that type of behavior, then you will have a more civilized society. There was a gentleman, now we had to go into our system and we had to remove some comments that, you know, I would say something. I respect Rastas. They're very conscious people, and, you know, they understand a lot of stuff that some ordinary persons don't. And here is a brother from the faith, from the Rastafarian faith, embarrassing his other brethren by coming onto the live to insult and to use obscene language. Rastas are known to be respectful people. And I got to call you out because you're not representing the messages that Bob Marley and all those guys were trying to present to the society. That's not what you're doing. So, you know, it is just sad that you did what you do. And let me get the name. The name is Paul Gilbert. Let me just pull it up. Paul Gilbert. He's not a young person. And at that age, for him to be so angry and bitter, and for him to be so disrespectful at that age, we are seeing now the problems that we have in our society. Big men acting like little children. And unless they grow up you will continue to experience the problems that you're experiencing in the society. Now, this guy do not know me, but he was able, as a older guy that can be my father, he was able to insult me and to use obscene languages at me. And so that, my friend, tonight, I'm going to bestow something special on you. I am going to block you permanently from this platform, and any post or any other wait, folks, bear with me. I know this guy. Yeah, I know this guy. Folks, bear with me. Oh my God. Yes, I know the gentleman. It's a shame. Oh my God. Oh my God. Brethren, I'm not even going to go further with this. I am just going to block this man. I'm going to block this person. That's all. Oh my God. People are losing their minds. Oh my God. Just bear with me, folks. Oh my. Okay, so he was just banned for life from our platform, so he's not going to be a problem anymore. Here, all right, folks? It's a shame, you know. Hey, Gregory Charles, how are you doing, my brother? Good. Yes, folks, I'm just sorry that people are bringing themselves down to this level. You know, it is sad. My God. There got to be some demonic forces that are destroying our people. Yeah, it's a shame. Okay, so let's do some comments and then we'll disconnect from the live. I know some of you are tired. You had a long day. BB, DD, I saw you in living colors. Okay. Okay, so there's a question. Was there bidding for the St. Jude contract? I am not sure. Those of you who is at Lucia, you can go and get that information at the government building. All right? Okay, and again, to the family who lost their loved one tonight, we sympathize with you. All right. Yes, we reported tonight on the killing in Ciceron, and we report that there's one man down. All right, folks, so I was just going through some of the comments, but we're not going to be long tonight. I want you to get some rest. Remember, so let me give you some tips here. Remember, folks, that sleep, it is very important for brain health. I want you to remember that. All right? Sleep, it is very important. You need to have at least 8 hours sleep. And like I said earlier, a lot of people have sleeping problems, not because of health issues, but because their mind, their hearts are not too clean. Some have robbed people. Some have gossip about innocent people. Some have all sorts of negative things going on in their lives. And so when it's time for them to rest. Caribbean American News Caller, you on the air.
Yes, have a good night, Mr. Gaffer.
Good night, sir.
I called to touch on a topic people don't want to talk about in St. Lucia.
And what's that?
The real problem that's causing all the chaos in St. Lucia.
Talk to me.
I have to say it's a lack of love.
My God.
A lack of love within the young boys and the young girls. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When I was young, I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you're going through your school. Sometimes you come without food. You have your hustle. You have no father. You have no mother taking care of you and everything. And you're the laughing stock of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But yet still you focus. You're in school for a reason.
Yeah.
And you want to make something better of yourself.
Yeah.
Now you will find when you leave school, even though you pass your CXCs, since you're nobody, you don't get a job that easy.
Yeah.
And sometimes a very girl you used to like that used to talk to you in school, maybe give you a little head, maybe give you a little sweet eye, and maybe things looking promising. I know you're a pastor, but
No. I understand what you're saying. You're speaking about me.
And you have that woman there with that little body there. And you're a young man and you think, oh my God, you could get married.
Yeah.
Since you're a pastor, I'll go we're getting married.
No, I'm a brother. Go ahead.
But then, that very same girl, you've seen her passing in a car with another guy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing, oh my God, if I only had my father taking care of me, or my mother taking care of me, or a job, I could have picked that girl out or something.
Yeah.
And then somebody come on the block, say, oh, let's go matinee with me, let's go and drop something with me. I'll give you $2,000. Since there's no job or you didn't get a job, not that you didn't want, but you're getting that free trip to get $2,000 so you could go and buy a shoe, buy some clothing to maybe try and, go talk to that girl. You'll go to Matnik. You will go. That pressure, you will go. Because you want the girl. You see your life with her.
That's right. That's right.
And then you go Matnik. Sometimes you go Matnik, the system, you get shot at, you get shot. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And then the cycle starts.
Yeah.
That's just one example.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet there are thousands of young boys in St. Lucia that are going through that situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yep. Yes, sir. Yep.
And people don't talk about that.
That's true. There's lack of love. Yes.
We blind to it.
Yeah.
And every year you have hundreds of students coming out of school, and there's no jobs for them. So where all these brilliant minds going to? They by the wayside,
by the street,
getting laughed at, and all these things.
Getting shot.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because they have nothing else to do. They don't have the programs for them.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would send them, once ever you get arrested with a gun, I send you to England to go and be in the army. You already used to be.
But you got to find ways to occupy these young people, You got to get them off the block.
That's the thing.
Yeah. You got to get them off the block.
Especially when you're young, 16, 17, 18, that's when your blood flowing very nice.
Oh, yeah. You feel that, you just start living. You consider yourself a bedroom bully,
But then you have the family members that take advantage of people too. Because I could remember I used to carry my banana hard. I used to hustle my banana.
Mm-hmm.
And I carry banana for my uncle. He tell me, come next week, I'm going to pay you. Come.
Yeah.
All right. Banana next week.
Yeah.
So long story short, 4 cuttings. He didn't pay me yet. He telling me he didn't get paid. Cannot pay me. And he's my uncle.
Your uncle?
My father, by my father's side, my father never took care of me. And now I hustle for my own money, and my uncle not paying me. So I said, okay, let me see. I went to Castries early one morning, and Mr. Louis George, he gave me a ride. About 6:15, I was already in Castries.
Yeah.
I waited until no money in my pocket, you know.
Yeah.
Waited until 11 o'clock. I saw my uncle and his wife show up. I watched them. They went into the SLBGA. I let 2 people enter after them, and then I walk in and I hide. I wait until they call his name.
Mm.
Took his money. I follow him all around Castries. You have no idea. The last place he stopped was at KFC. He bought 2 big buckets of KFC. The smell of the chicken wanted to throw me down. Around that time, it was around 3 o'clock. I ate nothing yet. I flagged back to my area. Then when I reached home, my mom was like, did you get the money already? I was like, no, ma'am. So I took a cricket bat.
A what?
A cricket bat.
So for a cricket bat there.
I was going on bat at my uncle.
Yeah.
So I went at his home, and I was like, if you tell me anything, I'm beating everybody in this house. All right, that's it. And then when I saw my cousin, I was like, he told me, hey, what's up? I'm like, uncle. My uncle is staying, he's in the house saying, oh, tell him, when I get the money, I'm going to pay him. I was like, hello. You owe me, I know you have the money, give it to me right now, or else I'm beating everybody in this house. And it took that for him to pay me.
Mm.
Understand? And I'm like, in my head, I had to tell him he's no longer my uncle. He's nothing to me. Because if you could treat me like that when you have a right to take care of me and help me, and you're not doing it, and I'm actually working for you and you're not paying me, that's not right. You're not my family.
Yeah.
And you have these things going on in St. Lucia all the time.
Yeah.
So all these things, oh my God, the fairness, like I don't know where people put in their head, I don't know what's going on, to tell you the honest truth.
Yeah.
They need love, they need God. They say God is love, and so I think they need God.
Well, listen to me. The society has gone far away, have strayed so far away from God, and that's the truth. They might not believe it. They might not want to believe in a God, but we have strayed so far away that it's reflected in our society. Lack of tolerance. And while the Bible predicts that these things are going to happen in the last days, the love of man will wax cold. People will see you on the street, don't like you, they curse you, they kill you. There's something in your house that they want, it's not theirs, they come in and they take it and they leave and they kill you in the process. Those are predicted. The love of man will go cold. You know?
Crazy. But anyway, I just wanted to share that story to open the eyes of a few people so they could understand.
Yeah, but thank you.
Even the lawmakers.
Yeah, thank you for the call. I mean, it was, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, my
Have
friend.
a good night.
And the call is right, it's a lack of compassion, lack of love. People have no respect for life. And you see it with the discussions that you have, when they disagree with you, then they get so angry that if you're close to them, they want to hit you, they want to spit on you, they want to inflict pain. That's how angry man has become. And that's why people have no tolerance. People do not understand how to agree to disagree, how to have a good debate. And I mean, not even drunkards, those guys who drink until they can't even walk. You know those fellas? Sober people are acting like that. They see a lot of things. And that's why I say to you that the nation have gone so far from God that the enemy now believes that the country, it's his playing field. That's his playing field. And so he makes a havoc with society. You can see it. I'm telling you, you can just see it. People are angry. People are bitter. So that's a big problem. And I am telling you, it is the grace of God that will help to dig the people out of this mess. And yes, you can see that the people are more lawless. People are more lawless. You go to a bank and you can see it. People don't want to respect the security guard or the police. They don't want to respect the teller. They want what they want, and they want it how they want, and they want it now. They don't care about anything else, procedures, guidelines. That's where the society is at this time, lawless. And anytime you have a lawless society, you're going to have the lack of love issue. And let me say something. With all these religious organizations in St. Lucia, why do people have... let me just take that back because I should know better. With all the influence of religion and church, are we not impacting the society as the salt of the earth? Now, it's a question that I got to ask, Are we not doing what we have to do in the society? And you see what is happening too. Anytime you have poverty, extreme poverty, undernutrition, food insecurity, persons being underpaid, all this frustration is going to be there. All this frustration is going to be in your society, where lack of opportunity, where some young people just give up because they went to school, A-levels, but they can't find anything to do. So some of them just give up. And many of them, if you look at St. Lucia, you'd realize that there's an increase in suicide and suicidal attempts. Just like there's an increase in gun violence, you have that where people and young people are saying, look, I can't face life anymore. And because sometimes they're in relationships and when a woman loves, she loves from the heart. Well, most women. Then because she have committed herself to this man, believing that this is her future, she has a future with him, and then she finds out that the man has no integrity, he has another girlfriend, or he's sleeping with her best friend, and sometimes sleeping with her cousin. Now that girl investing all her heart and energy and everything into that relationship, she's going to be very discouraged at the point where it affects her mentally. And that girl will actually get to the point of saying, look, I can't live anymore. So we have men on the other side who have no respect for women, trifling on their hearts, saying a lot of sweet nothing to them just to get their satisfaction from them sexually. But they know that the intention is not to have something serious, but because they're leading the young ladies on. And these young women, they love. And many of them mistake sex for love. A man can have sex with a dog, with anything that passes him, and have no connection to it. And that's just the truth. So I'm speaking, before I go off, I like to give you some words of wisdom. So I'm saying to women, you've got to protect your own heart by stay focused. And the best way forward for you as a young woman is to fear God and give glory to him. Yes, young people, fear God. The Bible says, remember now that I created the days of thy youth. So young people, especially my sisters, please, I beg you, protect your heart. There's a lot of wicked men out there. And it seems to me that there's a culture where the men in the country, they're not satisfied with having one woman. In order for them to feel that they're a man, they got to have 3 or 4 in every community. But yet they want to hold on to you. And while they hold it on to you, they're holding up your life. They're giving you children. They're giving you children after children. They're tying down your life. And then there's a good man out there who might want to marry you. So there is so much happening in the society that need to be fixed from a religious point of view, from a social point of view. There you will need that coming together of the church and local groups in helping to bring some clarity. But what you have is the church saying, don't talk, don't get involved. And the government said, don't talk to the SLP, this one, don't talk to this one, and don't do this. And then you have people in the crack falling through and losing their lives. And then we come back and we say, what is happening to the society? These people, these young people are no good. But we can fix it. We can make the difference as older ones. By being the example. For instance, mothers, if you don't want your daughter to be running around with Tom, Dick, and Harry, don't bring Tom, Dick, and Harry in the house every night. Because you are training your young daughter. You're saying to her, this is normal. But what you cannot do is to say to her, no, this life is not for you. But she's seeing you living it. You introduce her to a different man every week. You're driving in a different man's vehicle every week. So that young girl now is suffering now from double standard. She's affected by your double standard, and so sometimes they get so confused that they just live their life. And they say, you know what, one life to live. So I just wanted to give you those words of wisdom. We got to get to the root of the problem. And we should not be scratching the surface by throwing little $300 at these problems or little $1 million over there. But we are missing the root of the problem in this society. Yes, you need football fields. You need those things. But how many people are being killed? How many of our young people are being killed at a football match? How many of our young people are hooked on drugs at the football match? How many of them? So we got to fix the mind, the mentality. And that's why the churches got to play a bigger role. It is not about you talking in tongues and throwing yourself down on the ground to show that you're more righteous than the other person. That's not helping your generation. Now you have to do practical Christianity. It's like letting your light shine. Is you walking the way you want the young people to walk? Politicians walk in that path so that the young people can see you walk in that path. But what the young people have seen throughout the years is a bunch of politicians cussing each other off, spewing hatred and bitterness, and the society follows on. And you wonder what is happening. Why? Because they're seeing it and they're seeing corruption at every level. From the police to the medical to the politicians, it is in every area. In the banks, if my cousin is the manager and I'm not qualified for the loan, they can do something for me to get that loan, and the person who is really qualified, they play the fool with them. And that is corruption. In the churches, the brother should be promoted to an elder But because you don't like him and you don't like his family, or you don't like his position, then what you do? You hold him back. Corruption in the schools, teacher. The same corruption in the supermarkets. Corruption in the small boutiques and stores in your communities. Corruption. You should sell it for $1. You sell it for $2 or $3. You buy it at Bobby's in Brooklyn for 50 cents and you sell it for $30. Corruption. It's in the fabric of the nation. So how can the people move forward? And when I first came to America, I bought a cheap pair of shoes. It was $10. Nice, comfortable shoe. I went to St. Lucia, and I can never forget it. I went to St. Lucia, and there was a guy who normally brings stuff to sell, shoes and everything from the States. And this guy had the very same shoe. And that guy asked $70 for that same shoe, same brand. And when I saw the shoe, I had the same shoe on my feet, very same thing that I paid $5, $10 for. But he's selling that thing in St. Lucia for $70. Corruption. No heart. No feelings to each other. So that's the society that we're breathing. And what can I say, folks? The easiest way out is to insult and to curse and to besmirch and to call people dogs and to spit on people and kick them when we don't like them. That's the society that needs to be fixed. And I would say, like I always say here, righteousness exalts your nation, and sin brings disgrace to that nation, that society. So I'm calling on all religious leaders to rise up. Move from between those walls that you're comfortable with. Forget about the tithe and the offerings. And go and impact your society. Use that money to help develop programs in those communities that can impact the people, the young people especially. Take those monies that you are hiding and you're banking and build something in your community. How many churches are building centers in their communities? How many of them? How many of them have feeding programs running in their communities? How many of them? How many? Tell me. How many of them that you can go to and ask them for $1 or $100? How many of them? But once they don't see your tithe coming in, they call you and say, look, your tithe not coming in. What happened? But they're not asking you if you're working or if you need help. That's not a question that you would hear. So there's a problem in the whole system, the whole society. And I pray to God that each of us have the heart to stand up and speak it. And don't be afraid of the consequences. There's a lot of consequences that I will suffer for just being here speaking, insult and ridicule. But I know whom I believe. And I'm persuaded that he is able to keep that which I have committed unto him against that day, and in no form or shape, no weapon formed, and no darts that are lured at me shall prosper. But my God shall give his angels charge over me and over you to keep you in all your ways. And when tongue rises up against you in judgment, they shall be condemned swiftly to the honor and glory of God the Father. Their tongue shall be ceased. It shall cleave to the roof of their mouths. And their beds will be too hot for sleep. May each of us experience the peace and the joy of knowing who Jesus is. And because he lives, you and I can face our tomorrow. Life is worth living, friends. Live your life to the fullest. And don't stress over things that you cannot change. Because one day, you will lay down. You will not get up. And all that you have labored for will mean nothing to you. And your faith shall make you whole. So trust in God, folks. Have a beautiful night. I just wanted to encourage you as you go to bed on a positive note. Remember, anytime you go to bed with a positive with a positive mind. Never go to bed with bitterness, hatred on your heart. Bible says, cast all your cares on him, for he cares for you. So when you go to bed with peace and joy. Talk to the Lord. Maybe you can't pay your bills, but go to bed understanding that he will provide your needs. And whatever you think or imagine, he will provide it for you. And that's the peace that I live by every day. And it has proven to work. So go to bed thinking positive thoughts. And never go to bed with someone on your mind. Don't do that. You'll get diabetes and high blood pressure. All right? So let me just let you go now, but it was nice being with you, my family. I really appreciate every one of you. And let me tell you something. I have a family here on this platform that I wish I had met long time before. You guys have been a blessing and encouragement to me. And the Bible says when people forsake you, your own forsake you, then the Lord will pick you up and he will send persons in your life that will be a blessing to you. So each of you are a blessing. And I just want you to know that I love you very much, every one of you. I look forward to the day when we can meet together, where we can come together and meet together and enjoy each other's company. And we can have a laugh. No hard feelings. So you hang in there, folks. All right? And let's get to work. There's a lot of work to be done. So the police, I want to thank the police who protected the protesters today, those who were in protest, those who went to cast trees. We want to thank the police and thanks to the commissioner for assisting the folks who went out. Thank God that everybody returned in safety, in one piece, and they had a beautiful time. Father, cover your people in the name of Jesus as they sleep and as they go, as they depart. May no evil befall them. Set up a standard, O God, against those who rises up against us in false judgment. And help, Lord, that they may come to the knowledge of truth, understanding and respect. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Folks, go with God. Amen. Malcolm, yes. Love you. Blessings. Duncan, blessings. Isaac, yes, blessings. My friend BB, blessings. Mathry, Beset, George, Allison, my friend, my beautiful friend, God bless you. Prince, Catherine, and I have my Miss Fletcher. I got to reach out to you shortly. I do apologize. And my friend Miss Fletcher, God bless you. And stay a blessing to St. Lucia as you are. Thank you so much. We need more persons like Miss Fletcher. James, Francis, Jackie, Veronica, Francis, and Cindy James from St. Vincent, Canadian Vincentian. Thank you. Danny Boy, blessings to you. Hippolyte. And Tiny. Can I just go over to YouTube and see how my folks are doing just before they leave? Yes, Donovan is always over there. Sylvia, how are you? Lily of the Valley. Nice name. Hood, how are you? Have a beautiful night. LD, Wade, good night to you. Norville, blessings. Okay, Martha, blessings. Joseph, Willis, welcome to you. And may God bless you as you sleep. Amen. Now, I have a lot of schoolwork to submit before Thursday, and I have not even started them as yet. All right. And then I got to go to England to my sister-in-law's funeral. As you heard, my brother found his wife dead there in Canada, in the United Kingdom. And I believe she's going to be buried up there. They're still doing what they have to do. So I'm going to be heading over there by the grace of God to assist them in the service. Okay? So keep me in prayer and stay sweet as you are. Good night, my friends.